Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health and wellness from where you are right now to being unstoppable. And today I want to talk to you about being adaptable. And the impetus for today's podcast is really watching and listening to what's going on over in the United States right now with respect to COVID. Having lived through this on a smaller scale, but certainly having the same impact over here for us as individuals being locked down for 7.5 months, I know what it's like to be challenged and pushed in ways that you may not necessarily like or want to be pushed, but you are just forced to because decisions that are being made on your behalf that you have no input into whatsoever. So in this context, being adaptable is really important because right now, perhaps you've been watching around the world and seeing what's going on, but still being able to live a relatively normalized life, I will call it, because certainly from what I'm seeing over here, the forced shutdowns haven't really been in place there. Many of the things are still open. There's not a lot of social distancing in some footage that we see here. Masks is a political issue, whereas they're forced here to be worn. Lockdowns are not being enforced or not on a wide scale that we're seeing. Whereas they were here, the amount of distance that you could travel, etc., etc. People saying it's their constitutional right and all that kind of thing. But I guess what that means is that there may have been some inconvenience for you, but it hasn't hit you as hard as it did pretty quickly here, which means that maybe your world's about to turn upside down. Maybe it's about to change in a way that you don't necessarily like. And maybe you're not really ready for it yet. But this is why change is good, because you need to have to adapt. Now, maybe you've changed some things, but you need to still change more. And this could be the same for anyone listening anywhere around the world, including myself here, because we know what a delicate balance we live in this world now, living with COVID. And because of the nature of what's happened here in the past, it's only a matter of we could get out to 10, 20, 30 cases, and I guarantee you that we start to be shutting down again. And if it gets to 100, you watch it will be closed down in a snap. So we're going to have to go backwards again in order to one day go forwards. So we can't become too complacent, and I'm certainly not saying this in saying, well, you guys should have done the right thing and you wouldn't be in the right place. I guess only time is going to say what the best approach to do this is. Because if you look at places like Sweden, who decided that they wouldn't have any forced shutdowns at all and seem to have gotten over it and herd immunity and all that kind of stuff, to now being in dire straits because of COVID. And you look at what we've done and shut down in New Zealand and shut down very hard quickly, but their economy is screwed. Like our Victorian economy is very, very hard hit. Nobody's talking about the other side of this, which is the number of deaths that have occurred as a result of the mental health impact. Nobody's talking about the people that are committing suicide. Nobody's really measuring the mental impact that this has had on our children, on us as well. Like, how do you measure that? It'll be years and years to come. But then people kind of don't talk about it. It's like if I say to you, here are the results of the number of calls that are being made to lifeline type things. How many people are killing themselves? How many people are in counselling and doing those things? It's like if I talk about that, well, you might go and kill yourself. So they tend not to talk about it. It's like almost like a taboo topic. And I'm hoping that over the years that this will, the walls around this will come down so that there can be a free discussion around it, but in the context of making people feel like it's okay to not be okay and say it's okay that I'm not okay, and to seek treatment more freely. without a stigma attached to having a mental health issue. Now, just because you're having a mental health issue now doesn't mean that you're always going to have mental health problems. It just means that maybe you're going through an issue right now that you really don't have the tools to be able to manage it. But you may be about to go through something that you haven't been through before. You may be about to be put on more pressure that you haven't been put under before. So we need to be adaptable. We need to be able to cope with the risk, the change, so that when change does happen, we know that we are adaptable and we can still change. I mean, I feel like I'm adaptable. You could put me anywhere in the world and I will be a success, because I've got that mindset that says, how do I keep improving every day wherever I am? If I'm on a deserted island, what am I going to do? Well, first thing, I'm going to look for fire and shelter. How do I make that? Where do I get my water from? And then you just go from there, one step after the other. And before you know it, you're like Robinson Crusoe, and you've got this amazing multi-layered a building that's built amongst the trees, and you've got a regular source of your food because you've sourced out where your water and all the food sources are on the island, and so that you can live a sustained life. And then you work out how can you keep improving and making things better. I mean, that's just my mindset. I just want to make things better. So if you've got that mindset as well, you'll be a success. But let's talk about your health and wellness here as well. I'm seeing people all the time, and children as well. I'm seeing a number of children at the moment and having conversations with the parents of children that are reaching out to me to say, my son, my daughter, they need some help. They used to do this, but during COVID, they've put on some weight and now they don't feel comfortable doing those sports anymore. Kids are making fun of them. They don't feel good about who they are. They don't really know what to do. So they're asking me to help their kids with those issues. And I feel like I'm well placed to do that because, well, I've got 2 teenage girls myself, but I'm working more and more with children that are going through the same issues. So we work out a strategy that's going to work for that child using the similar principles, so that we're educating them how to live a lifestyle that is healthier, enjoying the exercise, so it's a lot of fun, so that we're setting them up for success for the future with sustainable, healthy habits. Not talking about, okay, you need to eat this food so you'll lose weight, because I think as soon as you start to talk about weight loss to a child, then all of a sudden you could be creating a bigger issue. So we want to just talk about healthy habits and having fun, and in that process, they will achieve the outcome. But they've got to love it. Otherwise, they could get to that position where they associate a little bit of soreness that they're going to feel from exercise, eating certain foods with getting a certain outcome. And if there's a part of that process that they don't enjoy, then they may attach pain to that process for the rest of their life. We don't want to do that. We want to support our kids in a really positive and uplifting way that helps them love the process. And before you know it, they're just living a different lifestyle. So when it comes to you, maybe it's the same thing. So many people have put on weight during COVID, but that's just a choice to perhaps move less, a choice to eat different foods that don't support their health. And therefore, what outcome do you get? Well, you get the outcome you're living with. So let's be adaptable and perhaps do it differently. Perhaps what you could do is use COVID as any changes to your lifestyle that are about to come or are happening right now and you're not sure how to manage out of it. Treat this as an opportunity to put more focus than you've ever put before in your life on your health and fitness. Focus a little bit more on what it is that you should be eating the right way. Reach out to me. You can get a free consult through the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, and we can start having that conversation about what are the steps that we can put in place for you to make these changes occur. With your with your fitness, with your strength training, maybe you don't know exactly what it is to do. Maybe you've got some idea, but you don't have a structured program. You say, well, I don't have any equipment at home. Well, I get that. But there are still many, many things that you can do. Again, I can give you a free program. Just reach out to me and we can talk about what's going to be suitable for you. The key is to be focusing on what it is that you can do as opposed to focusing on all the things that you say you can't. I couldn't go to my gym where I've been training for years. I couldn't go for 8 months. I could only just go on the weekend for the first time in 8 months. And it's limited. It's limited to 20 people in the gym at a time. So that means I need to get to the gym at around 5 a.m. in order to make sure that I can be one of those 20, because through the day it's going to be a queue to get in. So I don't want to do that. I want to make the best use of my time. So that's the way that I chose to do it. Now, there's always a way. If you've got a burning desire that's strong enough to want to do something like that maybe is creating you a little bit of discomfort because it's doing things differently, you can do a great home program and achieve some amazing results. It's just a case of in the program design and then the implementation of that. You just have to decide to do it. So why don't you use this opportunity to do things a little bit differently? And what I'm noticing here is after 7.5, 8 months of doing something, things are running differently. So I run my own business, and I can run that from anywhere, but I'm running it from home. My office is at home. So there was no change for me. But if you are in the, normally working in a corporate office, and all of a sudden you've been forced to work from home, initially what I noticed was people struggled to get into the swing of it. But now people are conditioned to it. Now, not everybody is super productive. Certainly business owners or people that are higher up in organisations, I find in more senior roles, are working better because what? They're getting less distraction from staff issues and so forth, and there's less phone calls coming in, so they're able to get more done. The employee is perhaps not as productive, they're a bit more distracted because they've got a different goal, they're not as driven. So they're looking for those opportunities to, I'll just take a little bit of an extra, lunch break because I need to do the washing, I need to do these household chores, I just need to duck down to the shops, I just need to do this. And they find an excuse, a reason to do those things. But now what we're seeing is, so it was just announced yesterday that by, I think it's the end of next week, 25 up to 25% of the workforce can return to the office. Okay, so right now everyone's still working, pretty much everyone's working from home if you can. Now we're starting to see that people that are returning are struggling. Because why? Well, they're not used to that interaction from people all the time because that distraction has been missing. The catch up over the coffee or whatever it is, the office banter that goes on is now all of a sudden back. People getting used to, oh man, that's right, I really hated working with, Dave, but now Dave's sitting next to me again in the office, he's driving me nuts, and that of course affects your productivity. So there's so much office politics and other things that go on that it's going to take people a while to get back into it. Because why? Well, they struggle to get out of that habit of not going to work, but now that they've done it for so long, they've conditioned themselves to not be at work. So it's tricky. We're funny as humans. We need to be adaptable so we know, so that we can change to circumstances just in a snap, but we don't always do it. So this is what I loved about COVID, or still loving it. It has forced us to be under pressure. It's forced us to think differently. It's forced us to act differently. When it comes to your health and fitness, if you were going to the gym multiple times a week, if you were in a really good system with your food and other activities that you were doing, and now that's been thrown into a bit of turmoil, focus on what you can still control. I mean, we've had instances here initially where we had food shortages because people were panic buying. And so if you stay focused on what's important to you and think, okay, well, I can still eat healthy. Here are all the things that I can do. Maybe it requires a little bit more time by you now because you need to prepare things in advance or just do things differently, but it all comes down to your focus. Just focus on it differently. Don't just whinge and complain about the fact that, oh, well, I can't go to the gym, I can't eat at my favourite place, which was, providing healthy food and doing all those things for me. Do it differently. Prepare the food yourself, get the ingredients, learn to cook, learn to prepare. It's not hard, and do those things for yourself, even though it's different. If you have to now work out at home, because when we went into shutdown, they were talking about a 6-week lockdown. Now, 7.5 months later, we came out of lockdown, but initially they said 6 weeks. And after about 12 weeks or so, they then opened for 2.5 weeks and then shut us down again because it was out of control. It could easily go out of control again. So I think don't be scared of this, but do step up and say, how can I be adaptable in this environment to still optimize my health, still achieve my health and fitness goals, and still work hard to keep my mental health in check. Still be productive, still do all those things, but now focus on some of these other aspects of your health and wellness as well, because maybe, just maybe, you've let those slide a little bit. There's no excuses. It's all on you. My job is to be here for you as a coach. And if you would like some coaching, then all you need to do is go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, reach out for a free consultation, and let's have a conversation and see how we can start getting you today to make some small changes to make a big difference to where you are. So wherever you are in the world, stay safe. No matter what the COVID status is for you right now, just be prepared. Change could be coming. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, it could be minutes. But if you stay adaptable, have a strong mindset all the time, then you can conquer anything. After all, if I can do it this year, if I can grow my business, if I can have a better financial year ever, if I can create more products, more services than ever before, if I can be happier than ever before, if I can get the best looking, best optimized health version of my body ever in a COVID environment, man, anyone can do it. Stay safe. See you tomorrow.